Hey, my loves. I'm here with a bit of a channeled message for you guys. I was sitting in my meditation this morning and just reflecting, and I realized that I had a bit of resistance towards a video that I did earlier in the week. And the video that I did was for the Lionsgate, what to expect, right? And so I found myself in a love reading. And I had to ask myself, like, why do you have such a resistance to this? Um, so after being honest with myself and really sitting in that, I realized that I hold resistance to the very things that I am trying to manifest because I don't want to be disappointed. And so my ego steps in and says, well, we're going to shut the feelings of hope down so you don't have to feel disappointed. And I wanted to deliver this message because, one, I believe I'm not alone, that there are a lot of people out there feeling the same thing that I'm feeling. And two, I also believe that I go through these things so that I can share them and help others shed some light on some places where they are in resistance. Because at the end of the day, I truly honestly believe that when we follow the path of least resistance, we are our happiest. It leads us to a joyous life. But we spend so much time resisting our heart space because of what society tells us, how we were raised, limiting beliefs. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I already shuffled the cards. I pulled a card, and the first card that came out was the Seven of Inspiration, which is the same feel as the Seven of Wands. For me, this represents really how I am feeling, or how I was feeling. Me working towards releasing the resistance that I have against, welcoming in a relationship, welcoming in better friendships, because I've been hurt before, because I've been disappointed. It's important for us to find the balance between protecting our energy, protecting our light, standing in our worth and our power, and going overboard with that and being unbalanced and saying we're just going to shut down to everything. If you're anything like me, I am a very genuine, naive, loving person. That is who I present with every interaction that I have in this world. And I have to work hard to use discernment, to take a step back and say, wait a minute, what is this person's intentions? Okay, here we have the Five of Inspiration, which is, again, Wands energy. It's the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands really, for me, represents internal conflict. We have a conflict between our minds and our logic. Our hearts, let me say our hearts, I said that wrong. A conflict between our hearts and what our hearts truly desire versus our logic and our mind. If you are on this journey with me, which if you are watching this video, 9 times out of 10, you are a part of my collective, you know that we cannot lean into our own understanding. We have to be open to allowing the universe, God, source, to work certain things out for us. And when we try to logically understand what's going on or how it's supposed to happen, we then place limitations. We like handcuff the divine at that point. The divine is like, well, I can't even give you what I'm trying to give you because you've closed off to it, because you've now decided how it's supposed to happen. And that wasn't even on my radar. Here we have the Nine of Voices. So in this deck, voices represent swords. So it's basically the Nine of Swords. What's keeping you up at night? Be honest with yourself and be truthful with yourself and ask yourself, what is keeping me up at night? Because I'm not resting. I know you're not resting. What's got you tossing and turning at night? And I need you to turn that over to the divine. Again, this is energy of being stuck in the mind. This is energy of, tossing and turning at night because you have anxiety, you're trying to figure it out when it's not for you to figure out. The divine has this. The divine knows how this needs to move, how this needs to shift. You just need to sit back and receive. And receiving is an art form in and of itself, because everything that we are taught, especially as women, we're taught to give, 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 give. We're not taught how to receive. So receiving can feel very awkward. But whether it's a compliment or if someone buys you a cup of coffee, receive that. Receive it without turning it away. Like, receive your comment, your compliment, without saying, "Oh, you're such and such too." No, just let it land. Just receive it. I don't know if it picks up the thunder that's happening, but there's a storm a brewing outside. I went outside, and this is just like a segue. Not a segue. I'm deviating from what I was about to say, but I went outside earlier, and I could tell that there was a storm coming, but there was such a calmness outside that it was kind of eerie. And I don't know if you've ever been outside, you know, during a storm, or when, it's getting cloudy outside, and just felt this stillness in the earth, the stillness in the universe, the stillness surrounding you. And I believe that source is calling us to be still. Yeah, there it goes again, the thunder again. The universe is calling us to be still. You're doing the most with the least. And I'm speaking with myself, to myself. I'm doing the most with the least, trying to figure all these things out. It's very hard. I'm an Aries sun. Aries sun, Libra rising. It is very hard for me to not act, to not be in action. I'm used to doing. Aries are go-getters. We do things. And oftentimes the downside to that is we don't wait on people to do things for us. We lack the patience to wait on people to do things for us. We say, you know what? I'll do it myself. And when you sit in that energy and you're constantly embodying that energy, you wear yourself out. So back to the reading. Two of inspiration. Again, we have wands here. This is all internal fire, your gut. You may be sitting on the cusp of a decision. I don't know if any of you have heard of two roads diverged, I think it's called. It's a poem by Robert Frost. Like, you have a choice of two paths to go down. You can go down a path that seems illogical in the moment, or you can go down a path that you would typically go down, that you're used to. You can stay comfortable, you can choose to stay comfortable, or you can choose to get a little uncomfortable. Now, usually the path of least resistance is not the path that is always comfortable for you. We have the Queen of Inspiration. I love these cards. I think they're so beautiful. This is the Muse Tarot, by the way, by Chris Ann. We have the Queen of Inspiration, which in your traditional deck represents the Queen of Wands. We have as you can see, mostly Wands energy. There is a lot bubbling up inside of you. You are a creator. Look at this queen. She is not worried about anything. She is simply creating. She knows her power of creation, and she's allowing source to bring that to her. Even you have a cheetah here in this um in this image. Even the cheetah is still. Everything is still. And I think the cheetah is the fastest, like, wild cat that there is. I'm sure there's a better way to say this, but yeah, the cheetah can run at speeds that most animals cannot. And there's an air of stillness here. The cheetah is still. There's a time and a place for fast action, fast movement, and I really believe that we're being called to be still. We have the Lovers. The meaning of the Lovers can often be twofold. It can mean a literal relationship, or it can mean the relationship with yourself. Where is the relationship with yourself right now? How do you feel about yourself right now? And maybe that's what's got you in the Nine of Voices. I came across a post on the internet that got me to thinking. And it was about goal setting and why most people don't reach their goals. And one thing that really resonated with me was most people don't reach their goals or get to where they want to get to, or even receive their manifestations, because they don't believe they deserve it. They don't believe in themselves. Are you believing in yourself? Are you loving yourself? Are you talking negatively to yourself? Again, for me, I don't know about other readers, but for me, a lot of these messages that I'm coming on here and I'm filming and I'm giving to you guys are also for me. This is also my medicine. I have been very critical of myself lately. And look at even in both of these images, there's an air of peace here. These women are not critical of themselves. That Five of Inspiration, that's being in your head. That's being critical of yourself. Get out of your head. Love yourself. Love yourself. I'm not really feeling that this is necessarily, and we'll wait to see what else comes out, but I'm not really feeling that this is necessarily a love reading per se yet. I really think that this is about going within and understanding the art of being still, resting. We have the Four of Voices here. So maybe you've gone through something and you're finding or you're coming out of a very tumultuous time. You're exhausted. Rest and allow yourself to heal. Rest your mind. Again, we're going back to being in that cycle of over analyzing and being in your logic. Rest your mind. Like, there are things in this world that happen that your mind cannot, it's just too big for you to wrap your mind around. As human beings, we can't process any of that. We have the Knight of Voices here, which is the Knight of Swords in your traditional deck. And that represents fast acting energy. Maybe your mind is moving a mile a minute. And we have the Empress, or the Priestess here, which is the High Priestess. I love this card. For me, yes, this card represents intuition. It represents the things that are happening behind the scenes that we don't get to see. But I also love that she's lifting her palm up here. And to me, sometimes I get this card when I'm trying to dig and find answers to stuff. I want to see the answer. And I'm neglecting what I feel internally. I'm not using my intuition. I want to see it. I want to find it. Where's the sign? And sometimes I'll get this card and I'll be like, okay, I need to stop. So I've heard the term monkey mind being used, and it's just about your mind bouncing all over the place. It's time to chill for a second. 9 times out of 10, you internally know what's coming, what you need to do. You feel it. The problem is that your reality is not matching up with what you feel. And so that in that place, that's where we as human beings, we miss the mark. That's where we kind of mess things up. You have to sit in what you feel, because your outside world will not reflect what's happening right now. There's a lot of planetary things going on. This energy during the month of August is very potent. We have there's a slowing down. There are a lot of retrogrades going on. We also have Mercury retrograde going on. So things are not as they seem. You cannot constantly look to your outside world to validate you. This is the time where you have to walk by faith and not by sight. You have to believe it before you see it. You can't see it before you believe it. That's not how things work. We have the world. So yes, or in this deck, it's called the world cosmos. Again, I often remind myself that we live on a planet that spins so fast that we can't feel it. There's a lot of things at play, shifting, changing, moving. Just imagine all the things that have to come into alignment and shift and move for your prayer to be answered, for your manifestation to come in. We're closing out a cycle right now. In everything that we experience and go through, there's a cyclical nature to everything. There's a cycle to everything. Pay attention to the cycles that you are going through right now. Is it that cycle repetitive? Are you repeating a cycle? And if so, ask yourself, what am I meant to learn here? Ask the divine source, show me what I'm supposed to learn so I don't have to repeat this. It's funny how we experience cycles over and over and over again, and it takes a minute for us to figure out, wait a minute, this keeps happening. If you're having that realization, it's time to do some journal work. It's time to sit with yourself and figure out why you're experiencing this same cycle. For some of us, we got it. We passed the test. We're going to the next level. We're taking a leap of faith. This is the end of a certain cycle for us. So just be mindful if you're feeling, cycles in your life and you feel like you're going around in circles. It's time to get quiet. It's time to sit in solitude and understand what's happening. Okay, this is seven of emotions. Emotions in this deck represent cups. Sometimes all of these choices are just distractions. Again, let's come back to this, the priestess. You know what you're supposed to be doing. You know what you want to do. But what you want to do doesn't make logical sense. Maybe what you want to do is not paying your bills. And you're like, how do I spend all of my day doing this when I need to work a job? And you feel really torn. Let I'm not saying quit your 9 to 5 because we gotta all make money, but it's time to put some energy into those things. Where your energy goes, abundance flows. We have the sun. I believe in this deck, and I'm gonna double check. I believe in this deck, this is also a yes card. So let me double check that. So if we're thinking about a specific situation or something that you want to do, and you don't know what to do, this is the divine saying, yes, that is the path to take. Just give me 1 second. I just want to double check that. But in any case, the sun, is masculine energy. It represents, the divine masculine. Masculine energy, aside from the obvious like gender roles, we're in our masculine energy when we're out there doing. There's a time and a place to be out there doing things, and we're in our feminine energy when we're receiving. So there's a cycle of doing, there's a cycle of receiving. Make sure that you are embodying those things in times when you're supposed to. Let's see. Powerful positivity and success, optimism, joy, happiness, celebration, family. So yeah, and whatever you choose, you are going to be successful. You are a child of the divine. You will be successful in whatever you choose. But some things we are called here to do. When you step in your purpose, there's a whole nother level of joy that you feel. It's not work at that point because it's something that you love to do. So you deserve to give yourself the opportunity to dive into your joy. Ace of Emotions. Ace of Emotions, again, emotions are cups in traditional tarot. Um, this is a new feeling that's going to set you on fire. It's a new beginning that's going to allow you to be in touch with yourself emotionally on a level that you've never experienced before. We have Temperance. You're reaching a level of balance. You're finally coming into, this is your masculine and your feminine coming into a balanced state of being. Fun. The Empress. So when our masculine and our feminine come into balance, we can embody this Empress energy. You are a master manifester. Her heart is at the core of the universe. Your heart is at the core of the universe. Believe that you can create whatever life that you want to create. It is literally up to you. And if your reality is not reflecting what you feel on the inside, again, it's time to go within and do that work so that you can experience the life of your dreams. Like, I refuse to believe for myself that I was put on this earth to struggle underneath capitalism and all of these other, you know, societal norms that we have that hinder our growth, that keep us stuck. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to love and experience life. I'm here to create. I'm here to share the things that I learn. I'm here to do what I'm doing right now. I'm not here to worry. I'm not here to be anything. Yeah, we have joy and we have sadness. We have to have the contrast. We have to have duality exist in everything. But I'm not here to be a slave to a corporation. That's not what I'm here for. And I refuse to settle in to that idea because it is not in alignment. It makes me feel icky on the inside. That's when you know you are not in alignment with something. When you feel, I'm going to go back to this five of inspiration. When you feel this discourse within, that means that's not who you are supposed to be. I feel great when I think about the abundant me, the me that's free to move and do whatever I want to do. That's in alignment with me. We have the five of emotions. It seems like now we've gone from, we're still in the heart space, right? But maybe these are the things that you once did that fell apart. This is the past. We get into that five of swords energy, that icy, cold, rigid energy when we focus on the past and the things that happened or hurt us or went wrong in the past. This is about being present. This is about being excited about your future. We have the five of voices. Beware of self-sabotaging yourself. I believe these are warnings from the divine. You have a choice to look at your situation as joyful, abundant, or you have a choice to dwell on the past. And dwelling on the past is going to lead you to sabotaging this new beginning. The divine is not going to give you something that you're going to mess up. They're going to give it to you in doses, in small ways here and there, but if you are unable to receive it, it's got to wait. Because there are certain things that the divine's like, no, you can't, beloved, you can't mess this up. We can't mess this up. So now I need you to go heal. Here's the Knight of Inspiration, which is the Knight of Wands in your traditional tarot deck. Take your time. You're going to want to move at lightning speed. But beware, don't move so fast that you forget to use your discernment. Let things play out as they are supposed to. There's a time and a place to allow your passions to propel you forward. But also a part of growth is knowing, a part of our spiritual journey is going to be knowing when to use these energies. And when you are in the Empress, like when you've made it to Empress level, you know when, where, and how to use these energies interchangeably. There's a time and a place for Queen of Swords. She embodies all queens. There's a time and a place for Queen of Cups. There's a time and a place for Queen of Pentacles. The name of the game is knowing when to activate these elements of your personality, these elements of you, because they never go away. In the human experience, you're going to have moments where you focus on your past, but it's important to find enough inspiration to move forward. All right, we have the Death card. I know more about butterflies than I do moths, but this is a moth. And just like butterflies, I believe moths cocoon themselves too, if I'm not mistaken. the situations in your life where you are who you are, your entire being, you are being reborn right now. And moths are drawn to the light, and so are you. Whatever's going on around you, like I said before, what you feel on the inside is not going to line up with what you see in your reality. And that's the kick in the butt from the universe to remind you that you are supposed of who you're supposed to be and what you're here to do. And when you feel that discord, know that your reality is often an illusion. You can achieve what you feel within. You're being reborn, my friends. Embrace this time and embrace what you're going through. And be grateful and retain your joy. Stay in a place of joy, because this is not where you land. This is not where it ends. The other side of whatever you're going through, the other side of your fear, is going to be amazing. You are about to walk into the most abundant time of your life. So take a deep breath, breathe, receive this message. I love you guys. And I can't wait to hear about the things that happen, because I know we're moving towards something. We're moving towards a harvest, and I feel it. Not only like the fall equinox is September 23rd, I believe. This is a time of harvest. This is a time to reap what you've sown. So stay the course. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on the divine. It's coming. Love you guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.